Shalom Yasharallah, giving all praise and glory to the Most High Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. His words be praised for everything. And we thank him for another day closer to the kingdom. He allowed us to come together to go over this word and bring forth this truth out of this Bible. As always, I'm going to start with Colossians 3 and 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Shama Mashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Shama Mashiach Yahushai. So all I say and do is going to be in the name and on the Savior Mashiach Yahushai. Give thanks to the Most High Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. These words be praised for everything. So we're at a world that's at war. And so I want to go into scriptures to kind of like look at a lot of different angles of why the things that are prophesied in the Bible is going to happen and why certain things have happened and it's going to happen. It's very important that we see that we're nearing the end times, and it's a time that Hamashiach Yahushai spoke on. When you go to Matthew, the 24th chapter, in verse 3, they asked him a question. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So they want to know, like this topic is, war, a world at war. When will be the end of the world that we're in right now? And the Mashiach answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. That's very important, because as you go through this, if you stay with this series, you're going to see that there's a lot of deceit that's been brought, especially to us as the children of Israel, because the whole focus is on having us not realize that we have a power, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to realize that we have a power of Mashiach Yahushai, and that we are the 12 tribes of Israel, which is Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. So it's very important that we as a people, come back to the Most High. He's going to tell you. And you can't come back to him if you don't really know him. You're not being really taught him. How you going to, even you praying to someone that you really don't know, if you don't really know him in the scriptures? Everybody had a little made up power that they pray to, that they want him to do everything for them, but he gave us strict commandments and orders to do, that we broke his laws. So they want to know what's going to be the sign of him coming to this earth, like, he's coming back, and of the end of the world. And the Mashiach said and said to them, Take heed that no man deceive you. Let nobody lie to you. And it's very important, because we look at the last sentence in Revelation 18:23. It says clearly, For by thy sorceries, by thy witchcrafts, were all nations deceived. You see? So it's very important that we see this, so that there'll be no mistake. And why you see a lot of people are caught up in spells. Really, say whatever. You don't know what have been injected into us as a people, really. When they say do this and do that, take this, take that, as a baby, they gave you certain shots, they gave you certain things. You don't know. Really, in essence, it's like a trust that we have in them, and it's not good, because it's telling you, well, by thy sorceries, by thy witchcrafts, were all nations deceived. So they're on a high level of, that's why I've done lessons on high level demons, how to protect ourselves from high level demons. It's very important, because we as a people, we're pretty gullible, and we've been programmed from slavery to believe that, hey, whatever he say, whatever the so-called white man says is the truth. That's why I said, that's why he's telling us point blank, and he's in the Roman Empire. Don't get it twisted. He's in the Roman Empire, and he's making a statement. He's telling them. But then and now, because we're like this the latter end of the Greco-Roman Empire that we're in right now. He said, verse 4 of Matthew the 24th chapter, he said, Masha said unto them, the apostles said, take heed that no man deceive you. Don't let nobody lie to you. In other words, and we've been lied to big time, and you'll see if you go through this series, you're going to see a whole lot of lies been taught and different methods of how they, came about to lie to us. And the whole world, everybody been lied to, really. It says, for many shall come in my name saying, I am Mashiach, through crisp insanity. I mean, I'm a Christian, and shall deceive many, Gotta look at this because a lot of people have been deceived or they've been lied to because the Most High gave us laws, statute, commandments, moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws to follow. We still have to keep the laws. That's why I just did a series on, does grace give you a license to sin? And the Most High wrote the laws with his finger. So many people have been deceived for what religion is keeping the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, or the ceremonial laws. No. So he says, and you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. There's wars going on right now, big time. World War III could be started. I see that Iran just bombed all these countries, France, Italy, allegedly, Yucca, Road, Tyre, Cyprus, Israel, Syria, Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, however you say that, and Dubai at one time. Come on now. He said, and you should hear wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled. Say, see that you be not troubled. But see that you be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. As you see, the end haven't come yet. We went through a lot of wars, but he said the end is not come yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, food shortages, and pestilence, different diseases you can't even think about getting rid of. Lifetime diseases, and earthquakes in diverse places. Earthquakes in different places. So they had an earthquake in Iran. They got bombed. They said they had an earthquake over there. So these are the things that, he's letting us know, because they asked him in verse 3, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world, right? So when we look into the Apocrypha, if I can find mine, when we look at Second Ezra's sixth chapter, the 7th verse, the same thing was asked during the time of Ezra, which was during the Persian Mede Empire and the Babylonian Empire. It says, 2 6 and 7, it says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, this world that we're living in now, and the beginning of it that followeth, the world that's going to follow after this world? And he said unto me, this is the angel Uriel, because we always dealt with angels. Y'all talking about Holy Spirit, holy angel, right? A righteous angel that bring forth the word of the Most High. It says, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, born of our forefather Isaac, Jacob and Esau, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, because they was fighting in the womb. For Esau is the end of the world. So with that statement, it lets you know that Esau would have to be ruling when? At the end of the world. Some people say that Esau is this, Esau is that. All I know is this. If Esau is not the so-called white man, then it's going to have to be someone that's going to be able to take down what you see now happening to Iran, what they did to the Gaza Strip and so forth. It's got to be somebody got something that will come on this earth. They have to be better than that. They have to be more powerful than that. Point blank. It makes no sense. Do it to you? It makes sense to you? There's going to be another nation, another nation that's going to take down the so-called white man to say they fit here. For Esau is the end of the world. They have to be ruling. They got to take the white man down. Because he's the superpower of the earth. They got to take him down. For Esau is the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning of it, their follower. So that means we got next forever and ever and ever. Jacob represents the 12 tribes of Israel, who was Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. Just like that. We got next forever. So look at Jeremiah 28 and 8. Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. And we just read it, about war and pestilence and evil. Add that to the mix. And it tells you in First Maccabees, when the Greeks came into power, the so-called white man first empire, First Maccabees 1 and 9, it says, and after his death, after Alexander the Greek's death, they all put crowns upon themselves so that their sons after them. So they passed the lineage of the kingdomship back down to their sons. Many years, it says, and evils were multiplied in the earth. You see that? Evils were multiplied in the earth when the so-called white man came into power. That's probably why they took the Maccabees and the Apocrypha out of the regular Bible. Why people go to church, they don't know anything about history. What do they really know about history? Think about it. They don't know nothing about no history. The Bible's a history book. But if you don't know anything about history, then how are you really going to read the Bible and kind of put it all together as far as timelines and so forth, or who was ruling at this time, who was ruling at that time, rather than just looking at what it is that they give you. John 3:16, that's all you need. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave us only begotten Son, whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. That's all you need. Oh, that's right. I got another one. Galatians 3:28. Come on now. What was ironic, this cat came up there this weekend. He was a heavy scoffer. He had pulled one scripture. That was amazing. That was the first. At least they go to, those two scriptures. He'd pull one scripture. I'm like, wow. I was different. Like I said, it would come all kind of way, Look at the book of Jude. Verse 15. Is that what I want? No, 14. Salakia, 14. And Enoch was like seventh from Adam. Enoch, also the seventh from Adam, as it says, prophesied of these, saying, behold, Mashiach coming with 10,000s of his saints. See that? He prophesied about Mashiach coming with 10,000 of his saints to execute judgment upon all and to convince all that are unrighteous among them of all their unrighteous deeds, which they have unrighteously committed, and of all their hard speeches, which unrighteously sinners have spoken against him. And that's real. Because when you look at, he is a brother. When he walked the earth, he was a brother. Now, who is apologizing for the fact that they set up Caesar Borgia, the second son of Pope Alexander VI, until this day? Who's apologizing for all the money that's being made by Warner Salmon from the 1930s to now? This picture that they set up right here, this is not Caesar Borgia. This is a picture that Warner Salmon drew in the 1930s until now. Come on. And they say hard speeches, they really come hard against us and just teaching the truth. Bing, okay, you gone. I offended somebody. You got to deal with the Most High on it, though. I say that, about Shalom Mashak Yavashai. You got to go to the Most High. You willing to go to the Most High on how you really feel? You better be right. I know that. In every way, shape, or form as you can. But like I said, nobody really, apologizing for the fact that, they've been lied to. And they realize it. They realize the lie, but they got to keep the lie going. And what do? They pass it down. It's been passed down from generation to generation. That's why we don't know. What do we know? I'm talking about as a people. We the main ones be really, really against us. Really, really against us. This is sad, but it's real. Ecclesiasticus 37 and 13. Ecclesiasticus 37 and 13. And let the counsel of thine own heart stand, for there is no man more faithful unto thee than it. If your counsel is correct, because if you can't really counsel and you don't really have the Holy Spirit of the Most High, your counsel can be off. Because you got to go to these scriptures to be able to counsel, to bring forth what it is that's going to be ultimately correct. For a man's mind is sometime wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a high tower. That's if you have what it tells us in Isaiah 11 and 2, which people think they have, or they roll like they have, but you got to be able to go in here and dissect what it is that you feel and it justified by the scriptures. Isaiah 11 and 2. And the Spirit of the Most High shall rest upon him. What's the definition of the Spirit of the Most High? What people call the Holy Spirit. The spirit of wisdom, and wisdom is the proper application of how you apply the correct knowledge that has been gathered, information that's been gathered to have knowledge, to be able to apply this correct information that would be knowledge in your life. And understanding is once you know how to correct yourself and roll in the proper spirit, then you will have understanding, and understanding would be Job 28:28. That's why nowhere you're going to go that you're going to justify yourself and not doing what the Most High say do. Job 28:28, concerning understanding. And unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Most High, don't be scared to be afraid of the Most High, that is wisdom. That is wisdom. And to depart from evil is understanding. You see that? To depart from evil is understanding. But see, you got to understand, I just showed you when Alexander the Great died and set up his 4 generals, and First Maccabees 1:9, it says evils are multiplied in the earth. So from that point on, to the Greek Empire, to the Roman Empire, when Amashiach was on the earth, all the way to the Byzantine Empire, all the way to the rebirth of the so-called white man coming into power, to now, it's just been growing evil, 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 evil. Because, like I said, what nation, what religion is keeping the commandments of the Most High? They say you got to keep the laws of the Most High. You'll find that there's hardly none that's actually have a church and they really teaching the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws. What church just celebrated or celebrating Purim? Because they know they're telling people, hey, we got the victory over our enemies. Talk to me. A lot of y'all, y'all go to church, or people that go to church. Are you sharing with them that they should be doing these things or not? Because we have days that we got the victory of our enemies, just like so-called white man. He celebrated 4th of July when he got the victory over the Britons. And why they have Independence Day, July 4th, 1776. So, and the Most High's holy days, that he said we're supposed to honor. He said, these my feast days. You see, so what changes if Hamashiach Yahushai, when they killed him, he had just had the Passover meal. Are they dealing with that, or are they dealing with Easter? Has nothing to do with Passover. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the things that we're looking at. That's why I said, to depart from evil is to depart from the way that the world is set up to send you right to damnation with it. And the Spirit of the Most High shall rest upon him. What is the Spirit of the Most High? Which is the Holy Spirit, people want to say. The Spirit of wisdom and understanding. The Spirit of counsel. That's why we were talking about counseling. So the only way you're going to counsel if you have the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of the Most High, to counsel right, even for yourself. And might, that's power. That's spiritual power. The spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Most High. You know you better be afraid and scared of the Most High. For real, for real. So, and that's a lot of the problem is the mindset of someone that don't know the Most High, someone that don't know what Mashiach Yahushua, according to the scriptures, precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little, as the Bible's written, it's a puzzle. Then they will counsel with their own mind. Why Ecclesiastes 3:24 says what? For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion is overthrown their judgment. By their vain opinion, vain thinking, that's a vain counsel. Like I say, is your counsel concerning the scriptures? You can validate how you think in your counsel for yourself or for anyone else. I have to deal with the scriptures to be able to talk to someone that needs counseling. I remember I back in the day, I had an accident and they sent me to this psychiatrist, and I told him point blank, you really can't counsel me. You're not qualified to counsel me. And it kind of like shocked them, because they, you can look at me, they probably had their own little way of looking at me. I'm not saying this to boast at all, but what they're taught, and if you could tell me that you can compare what it is I know from this Bible to what somebody has been taught through Esau, who never know the way of the Most High, and where it is that you're supposed to be, everybody got to learn this. Everybody got to learn this, or they're going to perish, point blank. I can show you that. And we end up having Bible studies. Straight up. We end up having Bible studies. I went there, hey, all right, you glad to see me this way? We open up the Bible, brought their Bible, we end up having Bible study. They marked it off, whatever. That was the counsel. I was counseling them, teaching them about what this is talking about. They was old. They was glad to be learning about what they know. Because, the truth is something that's like, It's not for everybody, but if the spirit gonna bear with us with the spirit. And the spirit just locked in, and that's what we did. And they understood why I said that. Once I start going through this like that, because man, come on. You tell all them, answer all them questions for all that stuff, man. You got this going on, that going on. You could just, I've been there so much that I just mark things down, see what they're gonna say. Oh, this way I am. Then I can mess with them. I have fun with them. Since you gonna put all these questions on me, poop, answer this, boop, boop, boop. I just answer like boop, 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 just like this, boop, 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 boop. Then it's oh wow, something's up with you. Okay, well let's see if something really up with me. See who really got it. Well, I don't have nothing else to lose. I mean, I just mess with them. You know what I mean? Because they're doing what they're doing. Because people want to put us down. And it's true. Nothing like the truth. You ain't nothing like the truth. I don't care. You put me in front of anybody and put you in front of someone if you really know the truth, you really gonna stand on it. If you ain't scared to stand on it, man. I've been around all kind of people from way up there to the lowest on the streets, sleeping on the street. Don't matter to me. We still gonna deal with this truth. That's why it's very important for us to look at this because the world is at war. And a lot of us at war with our own self. We can't really get it right with ourselves. Look at Isaiah 33:1. It says, woe, destruction, woe means destruction to thee that spoileth, and thou was not spoiled. America done spoiled a lot of places, man. They robbed a lot of places. Anytime you can put tariffs and sanctions on someone, nothing coming in, nothing going out, that's spoiling a lot of places, man. Every place they got was through warfare and just spoiling whatever people was on that land. Right now, that's what you see right now. Between Venezuela, now it went right to the Iran. Whoa, destruction to thee that spoileth, and thou was not spoiled. And nobody spoiled over here. And deal treacherously. Come on, man. These people deal treacherously. And they dealt not treacherously with thee. Well, you see the treacherous that happened to America. It haven't happened over here. When thou shalt seize, look what the Most High said. When they shall seize to spoil, to be robbing everybody, thou shalt be spoiled. Hear that? Once they cease to spoiling everybody, then they gonna be spoiled, robbed. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, oh, I'm gonna be like, they're gonna try and bring the Bible in or try and act like they're righteous. When you think to end being treacherous, they shall deal treacherously with thee. You hear that? That's prophecy. They shall deal treacherously with thee. Yeah. Look at verse 5. It says, the Most High is exalted. Are y'all exalting the Most High? I say, praise the Most High. Praise the Most High. Praise the Most High. Praise the Most High. The Most High is exalted. But he dwelleth on high, higher than anyone. That's why he called the Most High. He hath filled Zion, that's the 12 tribes of Israel, with Zion, with judgment, right? Because we got judged. We the only ones been judged, y'all. The other nations have been judged. That's why he tell you let me show you that real quick. In Psalms 147, 19 and 20. In the last chapters of Psalms 147, 19 and 20. He show up his word unto Jacob. Jacob's the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. His statutes and his judgment unto Israel. See that? He have not dealt so with any nation. So he give his laws, statutes, commandments to no other nation. And as for his judgments, meaning the punishment for breaking the Most High's laws that he didn't give them, they have not known them. Praise ye the Most High. That's why I say praise the Most High. True. Going back to Isaiah 33 and 5, the Most High is exalted. But he dwelleth on high. That's why he called the Most High. He hath filled Zion, which is the 12 tribes of Israel, with judgment. We got punished for breaking the Most High's laws. That was judgment. Remember, he says for his judgment, the other nations have not known it. But they're going to know it when Amashah come back. He says he hath filled Zion, the 12 tribes of Israel, with judgment and righteousness. Now what? Now that righteousness, we got to define it. Deuteronomy 6:25. Y'all should know that by heart. Y'all should be able to quote that as much as we go there, because the reason why I go here to define these words, because nobody can gainsay on that. He's filling us with righteousness. Not everyone. You know that Christian insanity, no matter what religion it is still Christian insanity, because they're not teaching righteousness. What is righteousness? Deuteronomy 6:25. And it shall be our righteousness. This is the definition of righteousness. If we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High our power, as He have commanded us. So if they're not teaching the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws, if you don't know them, then you in sin too. If you ain't keeping His commandments, you ain't keeping His laws, you in sin too. There's no excuse. What you think you're gonna be judged on? You gonna open up the books and say, okay, you didn't care about knowing my laws, my statutes, my commandments, my feast days. Certain days are the Most High's feast days. They're not our feast days, they're His feast days. We have 4 feast days that we have ourselves, we honor, you know, feast of dedication. Purim, we just celebrated, and before that was destruction of Nicanor, then Purim. That's like 3 days back to back to back. And we have Purim, so Purim, and then we have Day of Simon. The 4 days that we say we're going to celebrate in honor of getting the victory over our enemies, going to wipe us out. And the head honcho all the time was Esau. Everybody else under him, wipe us out, man. That's real talk. So it says, the Most High is exalted. I love this. Isaiah 33:5, the Most High is exalted, but He dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness, man. So that don't apply to everybody, because righteousness is keeping of the commandments of the Most High. And everybody, I don't care if they call themselves Israelite, you ain't keeping the commandments of the Most High to the best of your ability. You ain't keeping what He say. You ain't doing what He say do. Like, yeah, every new month is a law that we're supposed to come together once a month. Then y'all waiting on what? Easter? Come on, man. We have a feast once a month. I was about to say, you got to know the new months, the new moons, all of that. That's part of our culture. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. And strength of salvation, the fear of the Most High is His treasure. Better be afraid of the Most High. But wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our time. But if you don't have wisdom, which is proper application of knowledge, how can you really, be preparing yourself to be stable in the times that this salvation is going to come on this earth? Power, rules, and authority. Like I said, Esau's the end of the world. Jacob's the beginning of it that follows. How you preparing yourself for that's what's going to follow if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing to get there for that salvation. This ain't no religion. It take a lot of work. You got to sacrifice. That's why I told you in Romans 12. Go to Romans 12:1. What else? I look at the churches, man. They prosperous. They doing things, man. Y'all act like this truth is free, man. It ain't free. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice. How much have you presented your body a living sacrifice that's doing something you don't want to do? Holy? How do you present your body as a living sacrifice being holy? That's the first thing it says to Romans 7:12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy and just and good. So you got to keep the commandments and the laws of the Most High to be holy. That's why I say, present your body as a living sacrifice. You got to be doing something. I hope y'all don't think this is no religion. They come from a Latin word, religio, mean to hold back, keep down, and restrain you from what you're supposed to be doing that's properly right in the eyes of the Most High. He said, keeping the laws of the Most High, acceptable unto the Most High, keeping His commandments, doing what He say do, which is your reasonable service. It said, and be not conformed to this world. See, that's a light thing you're supposed to be doing. And be not conformed to this world. If you love this world, everything got to be centered around this world. You ain't no Israelite. You His-alite or her-alite. You ain't no Israelite. Be not conformed to this world. When you been in this a long time, it's like the world, you can take it or leave it. You know, I've been in, I can study all day and I could be in this all day. You know, like it moves me, it heals me, to do whatever that you need to be dealt with to be in this, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. The only way your mind gonna be renewed if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, studying to show yourself approved to the Most High. We're in the last days. We are a world at war. I hope y'all don't think you just something gonna come down and just take care of you. You ain't did nothing to be taken care of. It don't work like that. It was an old picture that I remember. I never forgot when I used to get my hair cut in the barber shop back home. And it was a picture of a little boy on his knees praying, the wrong way. You're supposed to pray like this with your hands open with that. They don't have us like this. We've been programmed, like I say, from slavery to have our hands like this. You can't get nothing. You can't give nothing like this. You're supposed to have your hands like you pray like this. And he had a little silhouette over his head. He on his knees praying. And it said, when you finish saying whatever you saying, get off your knees and hustle. You do something. That's what it's telling you. You gotta put some work. Nothing from nothing, leave nothing. You can sit there and think that, okay, if that's the case, don't go to the store no more. Just pray, Most High take care of my food. And you're gonna have, who is that at the door? Just your food. Okay. So you ain't got to be concerned about that, man. You got to make sure you do something. For real. You got to be in this. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed. You got to change. That's what it's all about, a change. By the renewing of your mind. That ye may prove that what is that good. And we know it's that good. We just read what's that good in Romans 7:12. The law is holy, the commandment holy, and just and good. Do that which is good, the commandments and the laws of the Most High. But they're not breaking it down like that because they're not going to define what's good. They're going to say, oh, yeah, you just call on the name of Jesus. That's good. Oh, yeah. Everybody lock into it. Just say something. You got to do nothing. That's why I say, be not conformed to this world, these worldly religions and so forth. They got everybody twisted. But be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It's the way you think. That you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Or you're going to follow your own counsel and tell you in Hebrews 10:31. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of living power, the Most High. So we're going to look at Jeremiah 28:8 again. And shalom to everybody coming in. Give me a like. A lot of y'all come in, you don't support. You can at least put your finger to give me a like. That's the least you could do. Jeremiah 28:8. Or if you don't like me, put your thumb down. I don't care. I don't know how to get none of those, though. All praise to the Most High. Say the prophets that have been before me and before thee, O old, prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So they prophesied about these things. And all the prophets had the spirit of a Mashiach. What preacher teaching that? Why not I teaching that? That's why I say, if you stay around and see, you're gonna see that there's so much that we have missed as a people, man. It's sad. Well, I already had my sadness years and years and years and years and years and years and years ago that I'm numb. I know I'm just a messenger now. I know what to expect because we are a certain way And we ain't changing. We're just the same way. Until the Most High bring that fire under their butt, then you see a difference. Oh, yeah. But anyway, 1 Peter 1 and 10, concerning the prophets that prophesied of old, the things that they prophesied, of which salvation, that's power from authority. The prophets have inquired and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace, which is getting something you don't deserve to get, that should come unto you. That's what we're getting right now. Searching what or what manner of time the spirit of the Mashiach. You see that? The spirit of Mashiach. This the prophets. From Moses all the way back to Adam, if you want to go back there, to Malachi, all the prophets in between. They had the spirit of a Mashiach, which was in them. This signified, when it testified beforehand, the sufferings of a Mashiach and the glory that should follow. He prayed for that glory, and he got that glory. He coming back with glory. Shoot, man, when he come back, look, jumping ahead, but I just want to bring us. This feels good. Matthew 25 and 31. Listen, Matthew 25 and 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, you see, got that glory, and all the holy angels with him. Then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. Power, rules, and authority. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another. This integration of all nations together now. Most High separated from the beginning. When he come back, he's going to separate. Like it says, separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, when he said in Matthew 15:24, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and the goats on the left, right? So he's going to tell the sheep, then said the king say unto them on his right hand, which are the children of Israel, we the lost sheep of the 12 tribes of Israel, come ye blessed of my Father, only because you're keeping the commandments of the Most High. You got faith in him. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. You see, everything was prepared and set up for us, the 12 tribes of Israel, from the foundation of the world. You just heard him. But what about the goats? The ones on the left side, the ones that's following the way of the world, that's caught up in, not really sacrificing themselves to do anything. When the book's open, say, well, I did what I could do for myself, and these people, a few people over here, that's it. All you like that. You still in the ghosts, because that's what the ghosts want you to do. That's what you want you to do. They don't want you to come back to the Most High. They don't want you to be sacrificing yourself to be able to bring us back to the Most High. Matthew 25 and 45. Then shall he answer them and say, verily, verily, I say unto you, insomuch as ye did it not unto one of these least. Look at verse 41. Then shall he say unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire. That's the goats on the left side. He said they cursed, and they're going to be cast into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. You see? Verse 46, and these shall go away into everlasting punishment. But the righteous, we define righteous. That's why it's very important to understand the definitions of these words from the Bible. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment. But the righteous, those that keep the laws and the commandments of the Most High, into life eternal. See? So that's why it's very important. That's what he's telling you. You got to keep the commandments of the Most High. He said in St. John 14:15, if you love me, keep my commandments. Simple as that. Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50. 33. Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus said the Most High Power of hosts. When you see here the Most High Power of hosts, that's Most High Power of army of angels. The children of Israel, the northern tribes, and the children of Judah, the southern tribes, which represent all 12 tribes between the northern tribes and the southern tribes, were oppressed together. You hear that? Were oppressed together. And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. That's why we're still in captivity right now. But we were oppressed together. Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14 and 1. That's why when you see people like they try and call us the N-word and slaves, how are you part of what we just read? How they part of that? If we was oppressed together, then they should feel what it is that we feel. If not, hey, how they part of us? Isaiah 14 and 4. If thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, this Babylon represents America, and say, how has the oppressor ceased? Since we are oppressed together by the oppressor, all 12 tribes, how have the oppressor ceased? It's going to happen. Future prophecy. The golden city ceased. And you know, if you ever flew over America, you look down, it look like just gold everywhere. I mean, it look beautiful. You look yellow. I mean, it look like gold from the sky. The golden city ceased. The richest country in the world. The Most High have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, the powers and authority of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, nonstop. I mean, he that ruled the nations in anger. They ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none here. Ain't nobody gonna help during this time. The whole earth is at rest, you see. Once they go out and taken down, remember Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that following. The whole earth gonna be at rest. They say the whole earth is at rest, and it's quiet. They break forth into singing. They ain't singing no sad song. They ain't singing no blues. They gonna be singing happy songs. Yeah, yeah. The fir trees rejoice at thee. You know, even the trees gonna be happy, and the cedars of Lebanon saying, look what they gonna say. Since thou art laid down, since you've been taken out of power, no fella has come up against us. Say, since you've been taken out of power, ain't nobody came up against us. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. You hear that? Hell gonna say, hey, welcome. Because you going to hell. They say hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee. Even all the chief ones of the earth, it have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. That's what they're going to say. All they shall speak and say unto thee. You know, it's something because you look at how powerful America used to be compared to where they are now. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou becoming like unto us? I mean, America are the ones that have, you know, the superpower or the nukes, you know, or like Iranian, seem like the Iranians, you know, that's what their whole life was about. For all the countries that they bombed at one time, I named them earlier. I mean, they just bombed a whole lot of countries, man, at one time. Boo, 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 boo. That's why it's saying what it's saying. I mean, the world is real. Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Come on, letting you know. It's for real. Look at Revelation 18 and 1. Revelations 18 and 1. So after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, saying, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. All of the brightness that was illuminated from him. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, the great, that's America, is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, deceitful, evil people, and the hold of every foul spirit. That's why people say, oh, that's your religion. Oh, I ain't dealing with that. Bunch of evil people, foul spirits, in the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. This is what they've done. You know, you look at all the evil, how they go into a laboratory. I remember growing up, they had the green grapes didn't have any seeds in it, maybe a little, little bitty, whatever. But I mean, there was like doing that way back then. Now, most everything you get is seedless. You're supposed to have the seeds in it. We used to eat the seeds. The seeds are good for you. Like apricot seeds, allegedly, supposed to help you with cancer. Just apricot seeds alone. So many things that, you know, the morals are so twisted. You know, a man could be with a man. Habitation of devils, deceitful and evil people. You can't tell me that they're gonna be in the kingdom. Women with women, you know, you're gonna get a sex change in the kingdom. What? That's why I say, man, Babylon is great is fallen, has become the habitation of devils in the hold of every foul spirit. Man, that's a foul spirit. In the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. You think about it. You know, I remember the Japanese, man, they wore kimonos. They didn't wear no dang on three-piece suits and all that. Now, even the Arabs wearing suits. Everybody have drunk of the wrath of her fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. You see? But it's gonna come a time when they're gonna see, look, verse 9, it says, well, let's read verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day. What's gonna come to America? Death and mourning and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who judges her. Listen, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her. They're going to be crying over America and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment. I guess that fear don't mean they're going to be scared. Just ask y'all what's fear the most high mean. I got everything except for to be scared. They're going to see America burning and they're going to be standing off away from it saying, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, being afraid, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, I'm talking about America, from that mighty city, for when 1 hour is thy judgment come, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buy of her merchandise anymore. You see, that's what the future holds. But see, they're not really, they think that, they had a mindset, who's going to bring me down? It's coming down though. It's going down. For real, for real. When you look at because you got to look at why these things are going to happen like this, because one reason, you look at Hosea 4:1. Go there. Hosea 4:1. Hear the word of the Most High. It's the word of the Most High. Ye children of Israel, 12 tribes of Israel. But the Most High has a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Why? Because there is no truth. Right? First and foremost, there is no truth. What's the truth? Psalms 119, 142. We can sing it together, class. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So the laws and the commandments of the Most High is the truth. No mercy. Mercy is what? Y'all know what mercy is? Not getting something you do deserve to get. Grace is getting something you don't deserve to get. Mercy, they're going to make sure you get whatever you deserve to get. Knowledge of the Most High in the land, you see? Knowledge of the Most High in the land. What are knowledge of the Most High in America? I don't even think that we as Israelites are exalting and talking about the Most High himself only enough. He said there's no knowledge of the Most High in the land. And it's sad because he's not going to be accepted until he put all of my Shechem's enemies under his foot. That's what it says. And that's a shame. Jeremiah 25 and 30. Therefore prophesy thou against them all these words, and say unto them, the Most High shall roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout as they that tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. Where we at right now, y'all. But the Most High have a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, said the Most High. You see that? Because there's no truth in the land. He wrote the truth with his finger, the laws and commandments with his finger, and people take it lightly, like they can just do whatever they want to do because they think that this is religion. This is no religion. This is a real way of life. That's why I said, a noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. For the Most High has a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, said the Most High. Thus said the Most High power of hosts, that's army of angels, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation. Hear that? Evil's going forth from nation to nation in a great whirlwind, like a tornado, like a hurricane, shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. And there's coast of the earth, and everywhere, every land that we in, there's a coast. He said a great whirlwind, like a hurricane, like a tornado in the hurricane, shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. And the slain of the Most High shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. Do y'all understand? Exodus 15:3 say the Most High is a man of war. You know, Yahweh is his name. And the slain of the Most High shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented. They ain't gonna be nobody gonna be crying over the dead bodies. Neither gathered, they ain't gonna be gathered to be buried. No buried, as it's just saying. They shall be dung upon the ground. That's like feces upon the ground. They're just gonna evaporate into the ground. How you shepherds, you preachers, you ministers, and cry and wallow yourself in the ashes. That's humility. They ain't doing it now. You principal of the flock, you just have these mega churches that's over the majority of the Israelites, especially here in America. And don't let me talk about how I see them outside of America call themselves being preachers, man. That's one dude he was just pooting on people, talking about there was a spirit in him. The Holy Spirit is gonna come out of his poop, and they just letting them poot all on him, man. Dude took spit all on his hand and just washed it in the man's face. Oh, he got something for you. That principle of the flock, you preachers, for the days of your slaughter and of your dispersions are accomplished, and ye shall fall like a pleasant vessel. You don't repent and come back to this truth. And the shepherds shall have no way to flee. They don't have nowhere to run. It's prophecy. Nor the principle of the flock to escape. They're not going to be able to escape this. A voice of the cry of the shepherds and an howling of the principle of the flock. That's talking about these preachers, these ministers, as they call themselves, shall be heard. For the Most High has spoiled their pasture. That's the congregation. And the peaceful habitation are cut down because of the fierce anger of the Most High. It's real. And we've been through this, and we're going to go through it again in these last days. That's why it's very important that we look at as much as possible how we can please him. Exodus 12 and 47. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And it's very important. Like right now, we have the Passover coming up, and Feast of Unleavened Bread. They're gonna say they're not teaching this, they're not following it, and it tells you just sin. If you ain't doing this, you in sin. Deuteronomy 16:16. 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the Most High thy power, in the place which he shall choose. In the Feast of Unleavened Bread, that's the day after Passover, and in the Feast of Weeks, that's 50 days after the Passover, and in the Feast of Tabernacles, that's right after, in the 7th month, right after Day of Atonement. And they shall not appear before the Most High empty. I mean, you're supposed to be coming with some type of offering. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Most High thy power, which he hath given thee. So, look at, you can read this 100 times, 100 times. You think people really follow that law? No. Israel gave everything they had up to these pork chop eating preachers, but when it comes down to actually giving to the truth, it's almost like you're talking to the air. You know what I mean? Like, now I won't say for a few. I mean, it don't apply to you. If it don't apply to you, it don't apply to you. But he said, every man shall give as he is able. He only wants us to come together 3 times a year as meal. And he said, when you come together, you're supposed to come empty-handed, according to the blessing of the Most High, thy power, which he have given thee. So you being blessed, and it's like only 3 times he's saying out of a year. You subtract 3 from 365. I think I'll come up with 362 days. He just said 3 times a year. So it's very important that, like I say, they're not teaching this. They're not doing this. And some of that's in Israel not doing it. Y'all just think this is free. It ain't free. You're going to find out the cost when the books are open. You'll be like, man, I wish I would have said it because it's too late then. Um, Psalm 74 and 2. Well, let's remember through verse 1. O Most High, why hast thou cast us off forever? Because we scattered among all these nations. Why does thine anger smoke against the sheep of thy pasture? He turned his head away from us. He turned his back on us. Turned his face all the way away from us. Why? Because we made him cry. We made him cry. So he said, when we cried, that's the only time he really had pity on us. He said, I ain't listening to you. Remember thy congregation, who we are, which thou hast purchased of old. We the 12 tribes of Israel. The rod of thine inheritance, which thou hast redeemed. This Mount Zion, wherein thou hast dwelt amongst us, man. Lift up thy feet unto the perpetual desolations. And that place is real desolate over there. That's growing. Even all that the enemy had done wickedly in the sanctuary. The things that they've done and the things that, right now, they don't have to really do what they've done before because they already got most. The majority of us are already in these religions and so forth. Majority of us already, locked in to what it is that they would have us, how they would have us be without being around us. We just naturally, going against how we should be. Thy enemies roar in the midst of thy congregations. They set up their ensigns for signs. They set up their ensigns for signs. What do? You can't deny it. Damn, look, they set up their own ensigns, their standards, supposed to follow them. And that's why, like I said, we're going to go through this. We're going to see a lot of things that is happening, why the things that's going down is going down because of the fact of what has happened. And where we at as a people and trying to get closer and closer to the Most High, or are we just doing what we've been doing? You call yourself in the truth, but you still rolling like you always roll. You're not in the truth. Isaiah 40, it's all about changing for the better. Isaiah 14, chapter, verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man? Like a lot of y'all been taught, Lucifer was something outside from what it was. That's why in verse 12 it say, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? Come on. This talking about the Edomites. Straight up. But thou hast said in thine heart, in thy mind, the heart is the mind, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. And we the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I think we are in North America, in this Western Hemisphere. That's right. That's why when you look at, it says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. So it's amazing to me. I mean, I could open up Bibles and I'll show you their pictures in there where they say they're the Most High. I mean, they're going to be like the Most High. Here's the Son. I mean, it's right in your face. You can't deny it. I mean, come on. It's what they've done, right? So they're going to be the Most High. They're going to be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit, as we already prophesied about. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, and saying, what they going to say? Is this the man? It's a man. This ain't no demon Satan. They work for him, but they're not him. Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Come on. Turn on your news tonight. Look at, you can go on social media. Look at when they drop them bombs on people, on them kingdoms. It's shaking, man. You make the ground shake. That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof. Come on. That's real simple. You can't just, I bet you if I get a child to say, hey, look at this footage right here. You see them, see what they did to this city? Like the Gaza Strip and whatever they doing to Israel, whatever that's destroyed. And you look at what they doing to Iran and all these countries that Iran just hit. I mean, come on. It's the spirit of Lucifer, man, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. Come on. We all up in the prisons. Y'all can ask somebody, man. This is real. This is real talk. Did not open up the prisoners, you know? It don't take a rocket science to figure this out. But, everybody have their own way of how they think. Why he said, even in verse 29, it says, rejoice not thou, whole Palestinian. That's the Arabs, Ishmaelites, because the rod of him that smote thee is broken, for out of the serpent's root shall come forth a cockatrice, and his fruit shall be a fiery flying serpent. So they don't think just because, they have stopped doing what they was doing to you. Here come this serpent, this special one, this special red one. The serpent's root shall come forth as a cockatrice, like a poisonous snake, and his fruit shall be a fiery flying serpent. That's the missiles, man. That's the missiles, straight up. Verse 31 says, howl, O gate, cry, O city, thou whole Palestinian art dissolved, man. They try to get rid of all of that area. They want all that area over there. It's dissolved. But there shall come from the north a smoke. That's these missiles. And none shall be alone in its appointed times, man. What shall one then answer the messengers of the nation? That the Most High have founded Zion, and the poor of his people shall trust in it. That's all we can trust in, is the Most High. If not, then find, I don't know what other way you can look to. Ye are only hope. But these other nations, they don't know him. It'll tell you in Psalm 96 and 5, for all the gods of the nations are idols. So they do idolatry. Psalms 10 and 2. The wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. You see? The wicked in his pride, which is contrary to being humble at all, thinking they all that, persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. The same thing that they imagine to do to the poor, King David prophesied it to happen to them. For the wicked boasts of his heart's desire. And blessed the covetous, whom the Most High abhorred. I mean, desire, covetous means he wants everything. He ain't satisfied with just being the devil or who he is, deceitful and evil, and accept what he have. No, he want everything. He want this, that, whatever that somebody else have. And the Most High hate him. Abhor means he's hated. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. You hear that? So how you gonna follow somebody that's wicked? Or even somebody that's in the world, knowing that your butt gonna be thrown right in the lake of fire right with them. First, before them. Because he called you. But I know people like to go back into the past and go back into where it was. And man, I'll tell you this, if you have been able to hear the truth, you learn it, live it, and apply it in your life, that you've been trying to be a part of this, you say you're going to get beat with more stripes than those that you look at that's wicked as ever. Because they cold. And you lukewarm. You either in this all the way or he said leave it alone. But you got those that straddle the fence. They ain't really about it because the things you're supposed to be doing and being in the truth, which is the laws and the commandments of the Most High, you got to look at doing it. You can't just say you are Israelite and you're not doing what he say do. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, thinking they all that, will not seek after the Most High. So if I hate the Bible, you should be able to show me just the Most High, all of y'all. You should be able to give me a lesson on the Most High. He's saying the wicked, through his pride and his conscience, will not seek after the Most High. So I'm wondering why, I could say it over and over and over and over and over and over again, but nobody really talking about him right. It's the Most High is not in all his thoughts. So that's what I think, it's like, is he in your thoughts? Praise the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Is he in your thoughts? He's the one that you pray to, but he's not in your thoughts. Once you done pray to him, then he got to do whatever you say do. But he's not in your thoughts. Because in your thoughts, then you're going to talk about him. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above all of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. You know his enemies? Those that are exalting the Most High, while Mashiach Yahushua, and keeping his commandments. Just a moment. Water. Mm. So let's go into some prophecy. Go into Second Ezra 15. We'll start at 14. It says, woe, destruction to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, which means drawing near. And one people shall stand up to fight against another. This is racial wars. One people going to stand up to fight against another. All this has to happen. This is a future prophecy. All this has to happen. One people going to stand up to fight against another. And swords in their hands. So the modern day swords is going to have guns in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, uproars and among men, and invading one another. Meaning they'll be coming to people's houses. They shall not regard their kings, no matter who's in charge, presidents, vice presidents, nor princes, no army, navy, marines, air forces, definitely not the police. Because I read this to police. Every time I read it to them, they was parked, and they rolled down the window, they listened, and they listened to the whole thing. And I asked them, I said, once I read all that, I said, hey, what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna protect and serve? Or you gonna be taking care of your family? That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna take care of my family. Every last one of them. Just like they did when the levees broke in Louisiana. The police got their hat. They was out of there. That's what they said. They're not gonna, because the people not gonna, because it's more people than it is any type of, army or, whatever, military, but they're gonna be scattered. Tell you, they're gonna be scattered all over. So it don't matter about the military because they're gonna be everywhere. Different countries, they're gonna be scattered here because we warfare. Like you see now, it's gonna continue. So they're gonna gather, they're not gonna regard no kings, no princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Just like they did when they invaded the Capitol building. Just like that. I mean, can you imagine a lot of people doing that? A whole lot of millions of people doing this. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. You're going to try and go to a city, you're going to be able to go to a city. I mean, that's martial law right there. They're going to stop the cities where you can't go into the city. Wherever you at, you got to be prepared for wherever you at. Put it like that. That's why you better have some water or something. I mean, you got to have water, y'all. Have some extra water in your car. You got to have preparedness. You can't just, unless, like I said, don't go to the store no more. Just say, food come to me. Tell them also how to give you all the food that you need, the water that you need to survive on. And it's no excuse because you hear what it's saying. You got to be prepared for this, one way or another. Especially you that have children, you got to really look at, man, I got to make sure I'm on top of this. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. What if you in your little spot that you in, you can't get to no store? I know some places you got to go miles and miles to get to a store. A whole lot of miles. Why this was jump off? You could think of your wildest dream. Oh, that ain't gonna affect me if you want to. Oh, I could tell you, like I always say, you better be ready rather than get ready. You already said a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's martial law. I seen that. They shut Torrance out here in California. They shut that city down. You had to prove you lived there, going in there and coming out. But because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Hear that? Men shall be afraid. They're going to be fearing. You don't think that fear means they're going to be afraid? So if men going to be afraid, how women going to be? Y'all women, y'all macho women, how y'all going to be? See, houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. That's like everybody together. Just like, I tell you what, like that movie, The Purge. Remember that movie, The Purge? Like that. 12 o'clock comes, everybody, you know, going to kill people or do whatever they're going to do to whoever. Look what it says. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. So if you're not spiritual, you might understand. You might think, oh, they cool. Oh, that's my neighbor, they cool. It say, then they're going to have no pity on the neighbor. That's why you got to be ready. That's why knowing the truth, it make your mind ready so that you know what to expect. There's no reason why you should be sitting up there trying to figure out going with the crowd, and they going down, and you going down with them when you know you're supposed to be prepared. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. Mind their sword is guns. You know, they say that we got 400%, 4 guns to a household when George Floyd happened. So we strapped. Because of the lack of bread. You hear that? Because of the lack of food. All this gonna go down like this. When somebody getting hungry, oh, they gonna do some things to you. And for great tribulation, all the havoc that's gonna be going on in the world, man. Our worlds. Said, behold, said the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me. I'm trying to give y'all a head start. But y'all can wait till you caught up in it, and he's talking about, I don't know you. You can wait till that point if you want to. Wait till you think you're gonna be there when the Most High put all of my circumcised enemies under his footstool, when he say he's gonna be accepted. I hope not. You can get a jump start on it right now. You start doing what's necessary. Because it's gonna be all because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. He's gonna call all the kings, all the earth, to reverence him, which are from the rising of the sun, the west, from the south, from the east, and from the north. Lebanon meaning the north. To turn themselves one against another. You hear this? Turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. That them is the 12 tribes of Israel. They will repay the things that they've done to the 12 tribes of Israel. That remnant, not everyone, not every last one of them, because 2/3 of people not no good at all. They're not gonna get it. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, to the 12 tribes of Israel, so will I do also. You hear that? As they do unto us, Most High said, so will I do to them. Say, so what I do also. And recompense in their books. He's going to pay them back. That's payback. Thus say the Most High power. My right hand, that's what Mashiach Yahushua. Man, isn't he on the right hand side of the Most High? Say, my right hand shall not spare the sinners. But no, the Most High, he had to sin, but he loved a sinner. Ain't that what they say? No, 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 no. He don't hate us because we sin. They always like to say, we all have sinned and come short of the glory of the Most High. So therefore, you don't have to keep the commandments of the Most High. You have to do what he say do. But what the Most High say? Ecclesiasticus 12:6. Right to the point. For the Most High hateth sinners. See that? For the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the unrighteous, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. You see? See, y'all look at the world as at war as if we looking at just dealing with what's going on with Iran and America and Israel. No, we at war with ourselves. We at war with the way we got to deal with the Most High. We at war with the way we got to deal with the Mashiach Yahushua. Point blank. That's why I say, Look at this. Look at these lies how we've been taught. The Most High, he loved the sinner. What? But he hates the sin. Y'all don't heard that. Ecclesiastes 12:6 again. For the Most High hateth sinners and will repay vengeance unto the unrighteous, those that don't keep his commandments, those that don't keep his laws, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. I better hear this. What part of that you don't get? I know this. Amos 9 and 10. This for we the Israelites. All you that want to use that excuse, Most High know my heart, and all that, we sin, we all sin and come short of the glory of the Most High. Oh, yeah. Amos 9 and 10. All the sinners of my people who are the Israelites shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor befit us. You see? All the sinners of the Most High people shall die by the sword. They're going to die by the sword. He said, the mighty day of their punishment is coming. That's why I say everybody been lied to. That's why we talked about, if you go back, we'll talk about these preachers, man, these pastors, ministers, whatever they call themselves. Ecclesiastes 12:6, for the Most High hated sinners. They saying we not under the law, we under grace. And we Gentiles. And we've been grafted in, but you don't know who you've been grafted in among. You can't say that. But the Most High hated sinners and will repay vengeance unto the unrighteous, like you just said. All the sinners of my people are going to die by the sword. That say the evil shall not overtake nor within us. He's going to kill you. He said, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. Nobody getting away with nothing, y'all. That's why it's very important that we look at this. Because the Mashiach outside said, hey, Matthew 10:34. See, it's not enough of, there's no fear of the Most High in this world. He's not even talked about. I'm looking at everybody thinking that Mashiach Yahushua is the Most High. That's a new doctrine that's out now. What's that about? Matthew 10:34. Think not, he said, you think that I am come to send peace on earth. So I came not to send peace, but a sword. What's a sword used for? Put some butter on your bread? I don't think so. He said, oh, you think that I come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. That's why we look at this. So we not at war with the Most High first and foremost. Yeah. I think that's what we really need to look at first and foremost. Coming out of the ways that we offend him, that war we have with him, and don't realize it. And if you do realize it, how much are you changing to make sure that you are trying your best to please him and what it is that will make him feel good? You thought about that? Instead of what he got to do to make us feel good, to ask what we want, what have you done for the Most High lately? Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And we're going to be in authority as the righteous, as the Israelites, not saying that I'm going to be there. Most High Ratazawan will, but I don't know. You never know. Can't make yourself one of the numbers. So, but when the righteous are in authority, because you can see that the righteous are in authority now, unless you can you in some type of I don't know, got your head in a hole somewhere where you you don't know nothing because it's hey, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So you're gonna be happiness on the joy in the world. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. That's why ain't nobody happy. Or say, chilly oppressor make a wise man mad. You know, but you ain't gotta stay mad. Most I say, whatever you do, take cheerfully. So that's contrary to you dealing with whatever you got to deal with it and come back to feeling good. Right? You say, hey, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. That's why when you look at Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He who is the wicked covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? I mean, come on. Marshall Shaq coming back to judge and make war, covered his face up. Marshall Shaq face been covered up since 1492. And think about it. He knew that they were going to do that. Think about it. You work all your life and you plan something for your children, or you plan something for your grandchildren, you plan something for your great grandchildren, whatever, or your friend or your associate, whoever, your wife, whoever, then they say that you somebody else. They got to give everything that you have to some other race. And he knew that walking the earth. He knew that because it's written. First Maccabees 3:48. He knew this. That's why I say when you look at all the things that he had to go through and what he did for us, and here we are just playing it like we're in a religion or something. All you got to do is just sing a few songs and run around the church like a chicken with his head cut off. Y'all ain't doing that, but y'all ain't even excited for the truth. First Maccabees 3:48. He knew this because it was already written in the Old Testament. And laid open the book of the law, the Bible, they opened the Bible up, wherein the heathen sought to paint the likeness of their images. Wow. He knew that. They was going to paint. Matter of fact, I have this book called The Boy's Years by Marian Johnson. And you see here, she the one that Marianne Trequez, widow of Dwayne Duke of Gandia, was convinced of Caesar's guilt as murderer of both Juan and Alfonso de Bisceglie. She commissioned this altarpiece with Caesar, far right, raising the dagger to stab Juan in the back. But this is what she did and put him on the cross. She put him on the cross. That's when, and they went with that. They feel like y'all put him on the cross now. And here goes Sister Lucretia. We talk about her a lot. You can go on Showtime and look up the Borgias, Borgia, and they call them the first crime family. The first crime family. Here he is right here. That's the original painting of laying open the book of the law when the heathen sought to paint the likeness of their images. There it is right there. I mean, that's him right there. Caesar Borgia. Cold-blooded, boom. And so I say all these lies has been taught. Here he is right here. See? That's your Jesus right there. See? Caesar Borgia, his head is most beautiful, wrote the Venetian ambassador when he was 25. The Pope loves and fears his son, who is physically most beautiful. He is tall and well made. Here go Lucretia right here. This is sister, Lucretia. And here they are right here. This is the Borgia family. There's only 5 people in this picture. You think they ought to pay for this? This him right here. That's him right. Let me see. It's him right there. Him right there. Then that's his brother right here, right there, right there, and right there. That's his father, Rodrigo Borgia, right here, right there, right there, and right there. Here go his mother standing up right here. That's his mother right there. And this is sister. I just showed you a picture of her sitting beside him, Lucretia. You see that? There's 5 people in that book. The Borgia family. They call them the first crime family. You can look it up online. You know, it's very important that, you know, we see this because we got to smash all these lies. A whole lot of lies been taught. That's why, that's why I say that world at war, yeah. Let me show you something. Get Isaiah. Isaiah 45:17. Isaiah 45:17. But Israel shall be saved by Shama Mashiach Yahweh, in the name of the Lord and Savior, with an everlasting salvation. Hear that? Everlasting powers and authority. Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded, which means confused, world without end. So first and foremost, we're a world that's at war. Israel is a world. Shock of the hour, right? And we have to look at that war that we have within ourselves. If we're going to make it through this war, that's going to be Jacob's trouble, first and foremost. So we're looking at it all from that aspect. Not only just the fact of physical wars that's going to be on this earth, but we got a war that we dealing with ourselves, and we got to make sure that we on point with the Most High. Very important, you know. 2 Thessalonians 2, the 2nd chapter. Verse 3. Let no man deceive you. That's what we started with. See, I just showed you a lot of deceit. You know, a lot of people have spells on them. A lot of you just follow whatever the system tell you to do. That's what you do. And you claim to be in the truth. And they say, do this, and you do it. Or you've done it. Let no man deceive you. A lot of you have been deceived. By any means. For that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. And a lot of people going to fall away from the truth. Let me show you that. Tell you that. We ain't got to go that far. And 1 Timothy 4:1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times, the last days that we in, some shall depart from the faith. You see? Some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. You see? That's why you see when he say, let no man deceive you in 2 Thessalonians 2:3, by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, the son of damnation. And that man of sin, so a man of sin is not going to be able to keep the laws of the Most High, follow the laws of the Most High, going to be contrary to keeping the laws of the Most High. And that's what's being said in the Bible. Straight up. That's why it says, 1 Timothy 4:1, now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times, and in the last days, some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits, a world at war within ourselves. Because you will listen to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Doctrines of devils. You understand? This devils is deceitful and evil people. That's why the Most High said in Proverbs 12:26. Proverbs 12:26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. And the righteous will be those that keep the commandments of the Most High. Is more excellent than his neighbor. But the way of the wicked seduces them. You know? The way of the wicked seduces them. And the wicked will sound so humble and believable. That's why I say y'all been deceived by doctrines of devils, deceitful and evil people. It got sorcery on a high level, that witchcraft on a high level. And if you ain't spiritual and you ain't inquiring, you get caught up in whatever they sorcery and brought about. That's why the Most High told us this in Ecclesiastes, because that's the Most High right there. 12 and 10, all praise to the Most High. When you open up the Bible and you go right there, and I just picked it up right here, open it up, it was right there. Ecclesiastes 12 and 10, all praise to the Most High. About some of myself the other side. Never trust thine enemy. You hear that? Some of y'all trust the enemy. Last I read, Deuteronomy 28:68 said, the Most High going to send you into Egypt, which means captivity, slavery, and bondage, again another time with ships. He said, by the way that I speak, way that I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. We haven't seen our homeland of Israel again. He said, and there, when you go on these ships, you shall be sold unto your enemies, not to your friends. You're going to be sold to your enemies for bondmen, for slave men, and bondwomen, slave women, straight up. And no man shall buy you. No man going to save us from the condition that we put ourselves in for breaking the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You see? But you hear what it said? Never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusts, it'll take a long time for iron to rust. So is his wickedness, right? Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. See right through him. You say, take heed and be aware of him. You're going to be just like you wiped a looking glass and see right through him. And thou shalt know that his rust, his wickedness, has not been altogether wiped away. You see? It says, set him not by thee. Don't let him sit beside you. Don't let him get too close to you. Least when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit in thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. You know, you remember what the scripture says. That's why I say it's very important to know the scriptures, to be able to look at situations and relate to what the scripture says instead of your own, like I say, your own vain opinion, man. You can't go wrong if you look at what the scriptures say and follow what he's saying, knowing that, hey, how you gonna trust them? How you gonna trust someone that has your forefathers in captivity, slavery, and bondage? for hundreds of years. And you think they're going to show you the right way, teach you the right way? Shoot, it's hard enough to get our people to even come back to the Most High, to really talk about the Most High. Look, a world at war. We a world. Israelites. Huh? Surprise, surprise, huh? We that world that's at war. First and foremost with ourselves. And everybody else will at war with us. But we don't see it because we trust our enemies. Hate on each other, but we trust our enemies. Do this. Okay, I'm doing it. No counsel, no way, shape, or form. Just do whatever they say do. Bunch of guinea pigs. Y'all gonna say y'all a bunch of gophers. Y'all a bunch of robots and robotees. It's sad, but it's real. I mean, look, this is who you're dealing with. It says, that's 2 Thessalonians 2:3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. And you got those going to be seduced by devils and deceitful, evil people. They're going to deal with things more so than with the faith of the Most High, except there come a falling away first. We're going to fall away from the faith in the Most High. And we fell in 70 AD. But other than that, like I just showed you, we fell out of faith in the Most High, believing in Him. And that man of sin, who's the superpower of earth, be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High. Now, if y'all know, you can bring to the table of Bibles that have, maybe you see some Bibles that have all Japanese, saying they the Most High. They are Mashiach Yahushua. How about the Chinese? But the Arabs, Africans, East Indians, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High, and that is worship, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, and of Mashiach Yahushua, sitteth in the temple of the Mashiach Yahushua, or the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High, that he is the Mashiach Yahushua. And we're the temple of the Most High. We look at 1 Corinthians 3:16, and we're the hardest people to really get to, and bringing them out of the way they've been programmed, deceived. I remember a sister came up and said, "Now I know Jesus wasn't no Negro. Could have been no Negroes." I'm like, wow. Finish. Every word you're going to give account of in the day of judgment. 1 Corinthians 3:16, know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High? We're the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you. He said, if any man defile the temple of the Most High, you're going to be judged by your words too. Your thoughts at that. Him said the Most High destroy. You hear that? If any man defile the temple of the Most High, which we are, him said the Most High destroy. For the temple of the Most High is holy, which temple ye are, right? We the children of Israel. And holy mean you keeping the commandments of the Most High. We just read that in Romans 7:12. The law is holy, commandment holy and just and good, right? So this is what we're looking at. So he's showing himself that he is the Most High. He is a Mashiach Yahushua. You can't deny this because it's in the Bibles. He put his picture in the Bibles right there in front of you. Verse 8, 2 Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom Mashiach Yahushua through the power of the Most High shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. You hear this? He on this earth, he working with Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. See? They liars. But they got all these signs and, power. They just took out the leader of the Iranians. Boop. No negotiations now. they in that spirit of war. I mean, But you see, even him who's coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness. Not righteousness, but unrighteousness, meaning not keeping the commandments of the Most High. Because righteousness is keeping the commandments of the Most High. So to be unrighteous, that means you're not keeping the commandments of the Most High. And with all deceivableness, that means lies, the sorcery, the witchcraft they have on people of unrighteousness, and them that perish, mean you're going to die, because they receive not the love of the truth. You hear that? They're going to perish because they receive not the love of the truth, which is the commandments of the Most High. Psalm 119, 142. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and that law is the truth. So they don't receive the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So anyone telling you have to keep the commandments of the Most High, they lying. Because the Mashiach said, if you love me, keep my commandments in St. John 14, 15. A world at war. We the Israelites, we that world without end, that's at war. First and foremost with ourselves and with each other. And dealing with what you following and following the world. The things that they set up to tell you, do this and do that. And you follow this and follow that. Listen at this. For this cause, the Most High shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. How about that? Because the Most High put this in them. That whoever it is that's going to be locked into them and follow the enemy, the Most High gave you a strong delusion. That you could be damned because you don't believe and have the love of the truth. That they might be damned who believe not the truth. Don't believe that we got to keep the commandments of the Most High, or be partial to the law that the Most High wrote with his finger. Or say that's the law and the prophets. That's the law and the prophets. We're in the law of the Spirit. And cancel out the law that the Most High wrote with his finger. Or use some other way or some other analysis to be able to have you not do what the Most High say do. What's wrong? He said in 1 John 5 and 3, but this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments, and commandments are not grievous. Commandments are not grievous. You ain't supposed to be sad and doing what's right. Or you at war, first of all, with yourself. The world would have you, look at me over here. I got it going on. Come on, go to hell with me. Come on, go to this damnation with me. Have a little fun now. And then you're going to suffer more so than they'll suffer, because they don't know nothing about the truth. But now that you do know, you held more accountable. We held more accountable. That's that world at war. First and foremost, Israelites, who was that world without end, at war in different ways with ourselves first and foremost, and how we dealing in this world. Surprise, surprise, huh? This is what y'all gonna be saying, and this is what people gonna be saying. Especially you that's all up in this crisp insanity. This is what y'all gonna be saying. Jeremiah 16, 19. This is what y'all gonna be saying. Oh, Most High, oh, Mashiach Yahweh say, oh, Jesus, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth. Hear that? The Gentiles. And most of our people say they're Gentiles. They don't say they're Israelites. You know that. Are you an Israelite? You trying to tell them that we the Israelites, they could kill us. Some of them still going to these secular churches. Or if they're supposed to be in, they ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing and keeping the laws of the Most High. O Most High, Wa Mashiach Yahushai, Alahayim, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, like where we at now, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies. Hear that? Vanity and things wherein there was no profit. That's what they're going to be saying. Because the lies that have been taught is Christian insanity. And that goes for any religion that's not keeping moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, and learning other sacrificial laws that we follow. See, when you understand our plight of offending the Most High and not really caring about Him, when that's all we had to do was keep His commandments, and commandments are not grievous. And the way, even with Moses and Aaron, we looked at Moses and Aaron when they was just a mouthpiece for the Most High. Even the prophets at war with the prophets. Most High woke up early, said get up early to send the prophets to Israel, and we didn't want to hear. So that world at war, it starts with us because we didn't want to do what we're supposed to do to please the Most High. And to this day. Look what it says. Let's jump up to verse 11. Jeremiah 16:11. Then shall I say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me. That me is the Most High. Said the Most High. And have walked after other gods. Like these religions, I think of them as other gods. The religions. If they're not dealing with the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob been a forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, who was Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar, that's not coming out of their mouth. The Most High has a power of Israel. Then who they really teaching the people to serve and believe in? You can't just say G-O-D. That's dog spelled backwards. Do you know where it came from? Most people don't. Y'all just a bunch of robots and robot teams. You just regurgitating what somebody has said. They saying AMEN. The last AMEN that was introduced to this world was ZEUS. AMEN. That's what y'all calling on. And Alexander the Greek, before he left out of here, he made sure that ZEUS, they were calling him AMEN. So when you saying AMEN, boom, I know you out. Because people don't want to hear the truth. You know, that's because they don't want to change. But you're going to be held more accountable, I'll tell you that. It's no different, like I was saying, there was people blaming Moses and Aaron or the prophets, and they were just bringing forth the message, the truth. You know, most people didn't know that. Most people didn't know that there's only 5 people in that Last Supper picture. Who bringing it out? Who cares? I mean, that's something that's very important. How you love a Mashiach Yahushua, and you know these people painting them in a way to a white supremacy, and you never say nothing about it. But you love them. But you precept it over here, precept it over there, and they paint the Most High in the Bible as a so-called white man, and it's okay. It's not okay. Now, even they say it's not okay. But here we are supposed to be bringing the truth, and we not bringing it out. And we still think the Most High supposed to really exalt us and bring us into the kingdom. That's why I say, a world at war. We that world at war, first and foremost. Until we get ourselves together, man, I don't know how we think we're going to make it. Not for what I see. You see what he's saying? Then shall I say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me, said the Most High. I don't want to be one that's forsaking them, you. We say we forsake him. and have walked after other gods, other idols, and have served them, and have worshiped them, and have forsaken me, and have not kept my law. Now you tell me that that's not talking about these religions. What religion is keeping the laws of the Most High? Moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws. None of them. None of them. And ye shall have done worse than your fathers, and ye have done worse than your fathers. For behold, ye walk every one after the imagination of his evil heart. You've been taught that. Aren't you taught? You were taught to follow your heart in this world. That's why I say you have walked every one after his imagination of his evil heart, evil mind, that they may not hearken unto me. So therefore I will cast you out of this land. That's why we cast out our land. It's desolate over there, into a land that ye know not, neither ye nor your fathers. And there shall you serve other gods, other religions, day and night, when I will not show you favor. That's why you look at the things that happen to us. This was told to us. It was told to us. And what do? Well, who cares? This is what we did. Let me show you what we did. Oh, yeah, we at war. Look at that. All praise to the Most High. Boy, man, you ever ask somebody. When you turn the pages and go right there. Hey, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Zechariah, the 7th chapter, verse 8. It says, and the word of the Most High came unto Zechariah, saying, thus speaketh the Most High power of hope, power of army of angels, saying, execute true judgment, and show mercy and compassions every man to his brother. You know, all throughout the Bible, we're taught to love each other over and over and over again, man. Compassion to your brother, man, rather than hating on your brother. You know, you go somewhere, they be looking at you all hardcore. Then the other nation come, hey, how you doing? Hey, smiling and styling, profiling in front of their face. Don't see your brother looking all mean at them, mean spirit and stuff. No. He said, show mercy and compassions every man to his brother and to the sisters. Got to get their act together too. And oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor. And let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. That takes energy. While you sit around thinking evil against your brother, the Most High said, hey, you bringing evil? He gonna send Satan on you. What you gonna do then? That's how you draw Satan to you, have him being evil. That take energy. That's why I say, hey, have compassion and mercy, every man to his brother. You see? But they refuse to hearken. Listen to that. We refuse to listen. We're not in Jeremiah no more. We're in Zechariah, prophet Zechariah. What it say? We refuse to listen. And pulled away the shoulder and stopped their ears. It's a war that we have with ourselves, man. We that world without end that we read about in Isaiah 45 and 17. Because ain't nothing you can do about the world that's happening there except for get closer to the Most High to make sure that you are right and do what it is that you're supposed to be preparing yourself for the times to come. But they refuse to hearken. We refuse to listen, verse 11. And pulled away the shoulder and stopped their ears that they should not hear. Man, we did like this. Did like this. Stop their ears. They want to hear what the Most High was saying. How do you think he felt? You have any feelings? Or are you just so hardcore that he gotta accept you in your hardcore prideful self? Or you're gonna be humble and feel it. But they refuse to hearken, refuse to listen, and pulled away the shoulder and stopped their ears that they should not hear. Yeah, They made their hearts, which is your minds, as adamant stone, lest they should hear the law. Hear that? They kept bringing the law. We got to keep the law, lest they would hear the law. And the words which the most high power of hosts, power of army of angels have sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from the most high power of hosts. Therefore came a great wrath from the most high power of hosts, most high army of angels. We ain't want to hear the law. Just like right now, people don't want no rules and regulations. Therefore, it has come to pass. This is what he said. Since we ain't want to hear the law that he wrote with his finger, therefore it shall come to pass as he cried, as Most High cried. You hear that? That he is the Most High. We made him cry. So as he cried, and they were not here, so they cried. Like, a lot of you have to cry sincerely. You ain't gonna be so big and bad. You say, therefore it has come to pass that as he cried, we made him cry, and they were not here. So they cried, and I would not hear, said the Most High power of hosts. You hear that? That's why in these last days, man, you got to really look sincerely into what you got to do to please him first and foremost. The Mashiach Shai pleased the Most High all the way to death. And they're martyrs. Who we reading about? Martyrs. When you read the prophets of the Old Testament, martyrs. He said, but I scattered them with a whirlwind among all the nations whom they knew not. Thus the land was desolate. And it's desolate over there, y'all. But really ain't nothing growing on that land after them, that no man passed through nor returned, but they laid the present land desolate. It's cold, man. We made the Most High cry. But he's going to gather us. Zechariah 8, verse 6, just said the Most High power of hosts. You know, so he keeps saying Most High power, army of angels. If it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of his people, that's not the majority. That's only about a 1/3. That's the remnant of his people. We the 12 tribes of Israel. In these days, should it also be marvelous in my eyes, said the Most High power of hosts, with his remnant. They'll say the Most High power of hosts, behold, I will save my people. We got to define my people, yo. We can go to Matthew 2 and 6. He said, I'm gonna save my people. Because everybody think they're gonna be saved in their own way and not knowing the scriptures. Spiritually, I'll say. Matthew 2 and 6, who's my people? And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah. For out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. So the Israelites are, we see my people, that defines my people, Israel, the Israelites, right? So now he said, now that we know that my people are the Israelites, now we can read Zechariah 8 and 8 again, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, the Israelites. That remnant that he's talking about. Not everybody, just that remnant. When we read about Amos 9 and 10, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. And you think it's not important to keep the Most High's commandments? And these post-up preachers telling you ain't under the law, that you're under grace, and you're a Gentile. Come on. And I will bring them and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their power in truth and in righteousness. I mean, right there, truth, Psalms 119, 142. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Righteousness is still keeping the commandments of the Most High. Deuteronomy 6:25. Psalms 119, 172. It's right there, y'all. And then you look at Isaiah for this remnant. Not everyone the remnant. Isaiah 60 and 21. Thy people, which are the Israelites, that remnant we just talked about, also shall be all righteous to the kingdom. They shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. So looking at this for the future, the Spirit told me that you can have a jump start in exalting the Most High and praising the Most High before the future. Why are you going to think you're going to get there and the Most High going to be accepted after he put all of Mashiach's enemies under his footstool? You're going to take that for him to be accepted, when some of us going to accept him before that. I love it. If you make it, Isaiah 61 and 6, it say, Isaiah 61 and 6, but ye shall be named the priests of the Most High. Men shall call you the ministers of our power. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. For your shame ye shall have double, and for confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore in their land they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them. Verse 9, and their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, these other nations, and their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which the Most High have blessed. Yes. I will greatly rejoice in the Most High. My soul shall be joyful in my power. For he hath clothed me with the garments of salvation, powers from authority on this earth. He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decketh himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorneth herself with her jewels. For as the earth bringeth forth her bud, and as the garden causes the things that are sown in it to spring forth, so the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will cause righteousness, the laws and the commandments of the Most High, and praise to spring forth before all the nations. And that's what I'm doing right now. Praise the Most High. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Brothers, I know your home about showing myself that was shy. Shoot. I better recognize. Yeah. Revelations 21 and 4. Revelation 21 and 4. And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. This isn't worth working to try and get here to the kingdom, so you can be a part of this. He that sat upon the throne said, behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful. All praise to the Most High. Man, you better recognize. But before that happened, we're going to deal with a lot, And you can have a jump start of knowing what's going to happen, knowing what it is that could be a solution for you, or just do what you've been doing. and see if that's going to work for you. Everybody got their own means of how, they think it's going to happen. You know you're Israelite. That's all you need to know. You better understand. You better have a relationship with the Most High. Tell you that. If you want that to happen, and you don't have no relationship with the Most High while Mashiach Yahushua, you're going to see. Because we have haters. We have real bad haters. And this is what we did as a people. This is what we did. We can't look at nobody else but ourselves. This is what we did. Haters, man, just straight hating. And second book of Ezra in the Apocrypha, chapter 1, verse 32. I send unto you my servants, the prophets, whom ye have taken and slain. We killed the prophets and torn their bodies in pieces, whose blood I will require of your hands, said the Most High. That's what we did, John. That's why it's going to be martyrs of us, that's going down by Shema Mashiach Yahushua to the glory of the Most High. And whoever it is that's scared, you better read about Eleazar and that woman and her 7 sons. Y'all read that before? Y'all know anything about that? Keeping the laws, they would eat no swine. You read about it in First Maccabees about Eleazar and Second Maccabees 6th chapter, and the woman and her 7 sons in Second Maccabees 7th chapter. She had to watch all 7 of her sons be tortured to death for not eating any abomination. How strong are you about keeping the Most High's commandments and the dietary laws that you really follow that? That's something, man. I mean, that's why I say when you know this Bible and you really look at all the things that we've been through and what we have done and examples that you have, like we just went through Esther. She risked her life. They fast 3 days. She put ashes and feces all over her head. And she was so beautiful. And fasted for 3 days. They had the people fast for 3 days and 3 nights, not eating anything. And we're going to get wiped out. These are the things our minds have to be on and looking at Jacob's trouble to be ready, used to it. It's time to fast. You can't fast. You're going through all kind of changes. Because you ain't never fast before you eat too much. Or you can't fast. We're going to need that. We're going to need it. It's very important. That's why I look at Revelations 18:4. Revelation 18:4. Like I said, it's a world at war. We that world without end. Israel is that world without end. That's at war. And no matter how you look at it, it's still going to come back to us. That war going to come back to us. One way or another. Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. We define my people in Matthew 2:6. The Israelites. That ye be not partakers of her sins. See, over and over again, we're in the last book of the Bible. Last books of the Bible, Revelations. That you be not partakers of the sins that the people are doing in America. And that ye receive not of her plagues. This place is going to be plagued. And people, I mean, I've seen it happen over and over again. Wow, man, the Most High is jacking them up, jacking them up, jacking them up. Jacked up this way, jacked up that way. They think it's coincidence. Ain't no coincidence. Most High visiting you. He the one that wound, he the one that heal, he the one that kill, he the one that make alive. Trust me, I know. That's why I feel good to go to Revelation 21 and pour down when it's ain't gonna be no more pain, no more sorrow, no more crying, no more sadness, none of that. When you've been through a lot. You know, but some of you probably ain't been through much. Or when it come, boy, you gonna know. You say, whoa, just remember, the Most High is the one doing it. Most High said, well, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. Look, this place gonna be plagued, y'all. It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven. The things that they have done that's breaking the Most High's laws, is contrary to the Most High's laws, taking the seeds out of things. I mean, we can talk about it all night long, man. Lying, you know, saying they the Most High, or Mashiach Yahushua, they said they gonna be like the Most High. They sit in the temple of the Most High, saying that they the Most High, and our people believe it more so than anybody else. Her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquity. Believe this. That's why when you go to Second Maccabees 15. It says, behold, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people. You know, my people are the children of Israel. The words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, said the Most High, and cause them to be written in paper. That's why we're reading them. But they are faithful and true. Say, fear not the imaginations against you. I'm saying everything always come back to us. Even though it's not in our face, it still will come back to us. You watch. Fear not the imagination against us, because we got next. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee. The things they're doing that's unrighteous trouble us. That speak against thee. They speak against us. All I want you to do, anyone of him, my boy, is to be righteous. Learn how to be righteous. What's wrong with being righteous? What's wrong with doing what's right in the eyes of the Most High? That's all I've been talking about. That war, we as a world, that we at war with ourselves first and foremost, and we at war with the Most High. Simple as that. We at war with them. It start with ourselves. That's why all throughout the Bible, they say what? What do they say? Love thy neighbor as thyself. Love your brother. Love your brother. Love your brother. Love your sister. Love your sister. That's why I say it. Verse 4, for all the unfaithful, all you that don't have faith in the Most High, Ba'Shalom Mashiach Yahushua, shall die in their unfaithfulness. You want to believe in him? You're going to die in your unfaithfulness. Behold, said the Most High, I will bring plagues. Remember he said, hey, in Revelation 18:4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. Man, you got some plagues on this earth, man, that are mutated to another level of sickness and so forth. Different flus they have coming out, they're saying, measles and all kind of things going on right now. He said, behold, said the Most High, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. You hear that? In a certain amount of time, like he told us, man, hold up. You look at Luke 21:24. He told us, he said, hey, Mashawashai warned us, he said, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword. This is us. We the Israelites. And shall be led away captive into all nations for breaking the commandments and the laws of the Most High. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, these other nations, like you see them over in our land right now, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. They got a certain period of time. That's why the Most High is saying here. And 2 Ezra 15, understand, Ezra, we had lost the Bible, period. And Ezra was getting, Messiah gave the Bible back to us through Ezra. He gave them 204 books. We only have 80 as Israelites, people that's in Christian Insanity, they only got 66. But what they're doing make it, they don't know. And they just dealing with the New Testament. They're not even dealing with what Mashiach Shai dealt with. They don't even know him. He said, for lo, I'll come in the volume of the book. In Hebrews 10:7. It is written of him. So if you don't know him, and when the judgment comes, he's judging. Most I allow him to judge, and what you gonna do? That's why it's saying, man. 2 Ezra 15, verse 6. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. That's why it said. Jews gonna be trodden down to the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So they got a certain dispensation of time to rule. And only the Most High know. Don't let nobody tell you that, hey, it's gonna be this day, that day, whatever day. No. Only the Most High know. Only the Most High know. Amashawashai don't know. The angels don't know nobody but the Most High. The ones that, most people not even tapped into. Enough, I'll say. You hear what it said in verse 6, 2 Ezra 15? For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth. And that's what they've done. And being in our land and being over here, being everywhere. And their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore said the Most High, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, the things they've done against his law, statutes, commandments, which they profanely commit, unholy commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Hear that? Because look how many of them killed of our people. He said they cry to him continually. You're hearing cries of those that have died. Look what he said in Revelation 6, in verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal of prophecy, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Most High, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? They crying out to the Most High to avenge their blood of them that dwell on the earth. And white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little while, a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. So there's going to be martyrs. And it tells you about those robes that they were given in Revelation 19:8. And the her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. Those that's keeping the commandments of the Most High. That's the righteousness of saints. The righteousness is keeping of the commandments. That's why it's very important to know these definitions. Going back to 2 Ezra 15. Verse 9. And therefore said the Most High, I will surely avenge them. They're crying to him when he's going to avenge their blood that was shed on those that dwell on the earth. He said, and therefore said the Most High, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. He said, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter, and I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. And it's not talking about ancient Egypt or the Egypt that's over there now. But that's what I say, when you look at Deuteronomy 28:68, it's saying the Most High shall send you into Egypt, which means captivity and slavery and bondage, right here in America, in this Western Hemisphere, with ships. By the way where I speculate, thou shalt see it no more again. And there, when you go on these ships, you shall be sold into your enemies for bondmen, slave men, and slave women. That happened to us. And no man shall buy you. Ain't nobody going to, bring a ransom of any money to get us out of the condition we in, that we put ourselves in for breaking the Most High's commandments. So that's just the way it is. He said, verse 11, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before and will destroy all the land thereof. Come on. Let's talk about America, this Western Hemisphere, and wherever we scatter, you're going to destroy this place, man. And y'all like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Isaiah 57 and 21. Oh yeah, we at war, y'all. First and foremost, with ourselves. We got to get ourselves together. First of all, that world of Israel that's at war with ourselves. Isaiah 57:21 said, there is no peace, said the Most High, to the wicked. You hear that? Ain't no peace to the wicked. No matter how you look at it. There's no peace to the wicked. That's why I say, cry aloud. Spare not. Don't spare nobody's feelings. Lift up that voice like a trumpet and show my people, who are the Israelites, their transgression. And the house of Jacob, their sins. You see? So let's define sin. 1 John 3 and 4. Just in case someone didn't know. In the New Testament. Isn't that something? But you don't never go there, do they? It's right there, though. 1 John 3 and 4 defines sin. Whosoever committed sin transgresses also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. You see, that's why I say when you understand all these definitions by the Bible, can't gainsay on that. From there, let's look at Jeremiah 6. Jeremiah 6:13. For from the least of them, even to the greatest of them, everyone is given to covetousness, desire everything that somebody else got. And from the prophet even unto the priest, everyone dealeth falsely. That's a shame. It ain't real. They're not being real, but they're falsely. They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people, slightly, saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. Yeah. Where they at when it's come down to really being out there on the front line for whatever it is really for our people? These preachers ain't out there. Were they ashamed when they had committed abomination? No, because they're looking at, if you ain't under the law, you're under grace, whatever you do, what they say, Jesus blood covered whatever I do, without trying to do what's right. No, 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 man, that's wrong. Were they ashamed when they had committed abomination, broke the Most High's laws and commandments? No. Say nay. They were not at all ashamed. Neither could they blush. Therefore they shall fall among them that fall. You hear that? Therefore shall they fall among them that fall. At the time that I visit them, they shall be cast down, said the Most High. That's why I'm here to warn you. But you don't want to listen. We've been crying out for years and years and years. After so long, you become numb. You just do what you do, and hey, I know what the end result is. I'm talking about the end result. So how is it that I can see this and see, okay, well, you ain't paying no attention. Verse 19, here on earth, and we on the earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not hearkened unto my words, nor to my law, but rejected it. Here on earth, he ain't talking to the ground, he's talking to the people that's on the earth. We just people on the earth. Remember, a world at war. And we that world without end, that's the Israelites. Here on earth. Behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts. You know what you're thinking? Because they have not hearkened, listened unto my words, nor to my law, but rejected it. Verse 21. Therefore, thus say the Most High Power, behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people, and the fathers and the sons together shall fall upon them. The neighbor and his friends shall perish. Thus say the Most High Power, behold, a people coming from the north country, like America, and a great nation shall be raised from the sides of the earth. This is why I say our forefathers knew this. They knew all these things. Now, I can show you the future, and what would you do? And knowing the future, what it's going to be like, are you going to still trust in the way you think or been thinking, or do you want to know more? Are you desiring to know more to be able to be safe and sound in the times that we're going to see going to happen on this earth in the future? Or will you still continue to trust in your own words, trust in your own way? I hope not. I hope not. She's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. That's what my Shai said. It's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Jeremiah 7:23. Well, Jeremiah 7:16. Well, let's read verse 15. Moses said, I will cast you out of my sight. Mm, mm, mm. I hate to be, it's not that much that I can really bring when I go into the prophets, since we killed the prophets and tore their bodies to pieces, but y'all want to come for some uh excitement, exciting joy when you don't talk about the Most High. You don't really know what we did to him. Is anybody talking about it hardly? That's why we at war with ourselves, first and foremost. We're a world without end. Israel is that world without end. At war. First and foremost with ourselves, and everybody at war with us. That's why it says. Most I said, Jeremiah 7:15. And I will cast you out of my sight, as I have cast out all your brethren, even the whole seed of Ephraim, northern tribes. Therefore, pray not for this thou for this people. That's deep. Therefore, pray not thou for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. You hear that? He told Jeremiah, don't even pray for us. He said, for I will not hear you. Therefore, pray not thou for this people, neither lift up cry for nor prayer for them. Neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. Wow. Seeing thou not what they do in the cities of Judah and the streets of Jerusalem. Man, what we do? The children gather wood just during the same thing they do during the holidays, like especially during Christmas. The children gather wood and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the queen of heaven. To make cakes to the queen of heaven. And to pour out drink offerings unto the other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. You hear that? And these other gods could be these religions. Who is it that's talking about the power of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob? That's the Most High. He said that's his name forever. And I'm immortal all generations. Just a minute, I gotta block this person, whoever it is. They're gonna be blocked. Whoever it is, they wanna have class. Calling me like that, back to back. They ain't gonna be calling me back no more. Simple as that. We're in Jeremiah 7:18. The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knit their dough. They're making, they getting their dough ready, rolling that dough with the rollers to make cakes to the queen of heaven. This will be happening during Christmas time and these holidays that they have. That's what they'll be doing. And to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. Do they provoke me to anger? Said the Most High. Do they not provoke themselves to the confusion of their own faces? Yeah, because what we do, we follow the way of the heathen. That's why I say confusion of our own faces. Now we don't even know who we are. And then it don't matter. People say, oh, that's what you believe in. We believe in what the Most High says in the scriptures. And it's sad because I've been doing this over 30 something years, and people that know me still dealing with whatever they're dealing with, and they're going to burn. Well, I call it crisp insanity. Gotta be insane. At least try and find out what time it is. I'm going to block that name number two. Hold on. Look, this is serious, but I don't think people really fear the Most High enough to realize how serious it is when it comes to him. I don't think they do. I don't think so. Or they ain't been dealt with enough. I'll say that. They ain't felt enough pain, suffering. Seem like pain and suffering would make you just say, "Oh man, it should humble you." But some of you, I guess, you ain't been through enough yet to realize, hey, this is the Most High. Verse 20. Therefore, thus say the Most High power. Behold, mine anger and my fury shall be poured out upon this place, upon man and upon beasts and upon the trees of the field. I mean, not only men and women, he's talking about the trees and even the beasts, and upon the trees of the field and upon the fruit of the ground, and it shall burn and shall not be quenched. Thus say the Most High power holds the power of Israel. Put your burnt offerings unto your sacrifice and eat flesh. For I spake not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. All he wanted us to do is be obedient. He just said, do what I say do. Do what I say do. What's wrong with that? Why you got to be at war with me? Why you got to be at war with the Most High? Hmm? Anyway, I got to get off here anyway right now. Never had this much problem. There you go. That's a trip. I was trying to plug my iPad in. Did you see that? He wants to be obedient. He wants to be righteous. He wants us to do what he wants us to do. Verse 23 say, but this thing commanded I them, saying, obey my voice. See, he wants us to be obedient, not being unrighteous and doing what we want to do. Say, obey my voice, and I will be your power, and you should be my people. So how, tell me this, how are these people that's praying to the Most High, don't know him, don't identify him as the power of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel? They don't know him. They don't identify themselves with him. How is it that they praying to him and he's really down with them? Like we said, but this thing commanded I them. That's us, we the Israelites, saying, obey my voice. What's wrong with that? And I will be your power. In this world at war that we have, against each other, against ourselves first and foremost, and then against each other and the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushai, we can eliminate it. He said, obey my voice, and I will be your power. And you should be my people and walk in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you. I mean, it's no different than when you look at the last book of the Bible. I mean, over and over again, he's telling us the same thing. Revelation 22:14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. You see? And that New Jerusalem is already built. It's already prepared. Mashiach said, I'm going to prepare a place for you and then tell you that it's already prepared. That they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. And it's going to be, and the gates to the city is to the Israelites, period. 3 gates on the north, 3 gates on the south, 3 gates on the west, 3 gates on the east, which represent 12 tribes of Israel. A gate for each of the 12 tribes of Israel. Going back to Jeremiah 7, verse 23 again. But this thing commanded I them, talking to us, saying, obey my voice, and I will be your power. So how is the Most High any of these other nations' power? And I mean, we're 12 nations that make up one nation. And they're not obeying his voice. They're not obeying what he said to do. They're not keeping his commandments, his laws, to be his people. Saying, walk in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you. But they hearken not, they ain't listen, nor incline their ear, but walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart, imagination of their evil mind, and went backwards instead of forward. A world at war. Israel, that world without end, at war with the Most High. Since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt, unto this day, this very day, I have even sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them. Yet they hearken not unto me, nor incline their ear, but harden their neck. They did worse than their fathers. Just read to you how we killed the prophets and we tore their bodies to pieces. That's what we did. We didn't only kill them, we tore their bodies to pieces, y'all. That's terrible. That's real bad. It's really, really bad. It's bad. It's real bad. Verse 26, yet they hearken not unto me, nor incline their ear, but harden their neck. They did worse than their fathers. Therefore thou shalt speak all these words unto them. But they will not hearken to me, thee. So they ain't gonna listen to you, to the point where they killed the prophets and tore their bodies to pieces. Thou shalt also call unto them, but they will not answer thee. But thou shalt say unto them, this talking to us, this is a nation that obeyeth not the voice of the Most High, their power, nor receiveth correction. So these principles that I look at in dealing with our people and think about our people, like he said, until this day, I have even sent you unto you all the servants of the prophets, until this day. Verse 28 said, but thou shalt say unto them, This is a nation that obeyeth not the voice of the Most High their power, nor receiveth correction. Truth is perished. What's the truth? Psalms 119, 142. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and that law is the truth. Truth is perished. And is cut off from their mouth. Cut off from their mouth. Most High said you're supposed to meditate on the laws and the commandments day and night. It says, cut off thine hair, O Jerusalem, and cast it away. Oh, he said you're supposed to cut off your hair when the things are going the way it is with our nation. He said, cut off thine hair, O Jerusalem, and cast it away. And take up a lamentation on high places, cry unto the Most High, for the Most High have rejected and forsaken the generation of his wrath, man. For the children of Judah, that's the southern tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, have done evil in my sight, said the Most High power. They have set their abomination in the house which is called by my name to pollute it. Man, that's cold. That's why he told Jeremiah, look, go to, not Jeremiah, but he was talking to Jeremiah there, but Second Ezra. Is that what I want now? Yeah, that's what I want. Second Ezra, the first chapter, and I'm just about finished, because this is all about a world at war, and we that world without end. In Isaiah 45 and 17, where the Most High took me to. And y'all join me on the Sabbath. I'm going to bring in more about what you can see is happening right now. Second Ezra 1, and we'll start at verse 4. It says, and the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, go thy way, and show my people, again, their sinful deeds, and their children their wickedness, which they have done against me, that they may tell their children's children. But see, if you just think happy-go-lucky, and you ain't dealing with the Most High, because you hear what he's saying. If you didn't hear what he's saying, go back and listen. What he's saying to us, as we at war, first and foremost with ourselves, and we at war with him. Because the sins of their fathers are increased in them, for they have forgotten me and have offered unto strange gods. And that's these religions that's not teaching you anything. Am not I even he that brought them out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage? But they have provoked me unto wrath and despised my counsels. And that's what he said when you read Proverbs 124 now. You're getting a counsel right now. Verse 8, pull thou off then the hair of thy head, and cast all evil upon them. But they have not been obedient unto my law. But it is a rebellious people. You see? He told Jeremiah to cut his hair off. Telling Ezra to cut off their hair whenever we are out of order and not dealing with him. Like I seen it. Wow. I don't hear people saying praise the Most High. Y'all putting APTTMH. All praises. You serious? You can't say all praise to the Most High? You can't say that enough. I want you to feel him. From where we at, a world at war with ourselves and with him. You hear what he said? Pull thou off then the hair of thy head. Are you talking about you ain't supposed to have your hair cut? You can't pull out, you can't shave your hair off. What? Pull off there then the hair of thy head. Told Jeremiah, told Ezra this. And cast all evil upon them. This is humility, man. For they have not been obedient unto my law. but it is a rebellious people. How long shall I forbear them? How long I'm going to deal with us, he's saying, unto whom I have done so much good? So I've done so much good for us. He said, how long are you going to forbear us, man? Many kings are destroyed for their sake. He's telling you what he's done for us. Say, many kings are destroyed for their sakes. Pharaoh, with his servants and all his power, have I smitten down. All the nations have I destroyed before them. And in the east I have scattered the people of 2 provinces, even of Tyrus and Zidon, and have slain all their enemies. But the Most High said he did this. Killed all of our enemies. Speak thou therefore unto them, saying, thus said the Most High, I led you through the sea, and in the beginning have you a large and safe passage, going through the Red Sea. I gave you Moses for a leader, and Aaron for a priest. That's the Most High talking, y'all. That's the Most High. Gave you light in a pillar of fire, and great wonders have I done among you. Yet have ye forsaken me, said the Most High. Thus said the Almighty Power. The quails were as a token for you. I gave you tents for your sake, God. Nevertheless, you murmured there. Complaining. We ain't got no meat. We ain't got no food. Most I put so many quails out there, the ground was full of quail. And he killed all the fat ones, all the ones that probably complaining the most, killed them all. Murmuring. Say, what are the benefits that I have done for you? Think about it. Y'all think about all the blessings that the Most High has blessed you with. Say, what are the benefits I've done for you? And you just still walking around murmuring or not satisfied, complaining, man. Get out of here. He said, thus said Almighty Power. The quails were a token for you. I gave you tents for your sake, God. Nevertheless, you murmured there, still complaining, and triumph not in my name for the destruction of your enemies. But ever to this day do ye yet murmur. And you got something to say about, complain about something, this, that, or third, whatever. He hear you. Remember, his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of man, even the secret parts. What are the benefits that I have done for you? So all I've done for you, you don't forgot? When ye were hungry and thirsty in the wilderness, did ye not cry unto me, saying, why hast thou brought us into this wilderness to kill us? It had been better for us to have served the Egyptians than to die in this wilderness. This is us. That's why I say it's so much that we have to look at. If you don't know anything about our future, our past, our present, and our future, then saying, why hast thou brought us into this wilderness? Accept this, to kill us. It had been better for us to have served the Egyptians than to die in this wilderness. Then had I pity upon your mournings, that I is the Most High, and gave you manna to eat. So you did eat angels' bread. When you were thirsty, did I not cleave the rock, and waters flowed out to your field? For the heat, I covered you with the leaves of the trees. I divided among you a fruitful land. I cast out the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Philistines before you. What shall I yet do more for you? Said the Most High. Still complaining, still ain't enough. Thus said the Almighty Power. When you were in the wilderness, in the river of the Amorites, being athirst and blaspheming my name. Wow. Blaspheme the name of the Most High. I gave you not fire for your blasphemies, but cast a tree in the water and made the river sweet, made the water taste good. He did this while we blaspheming his name. What shall I do unto you, O Jacob, thou Judah? A world at war. Said, what should I do with thee, O Jacob, thou Judah, who did not obey me? I will turn me to other nations, and unto those will I give my name, that they may keep my statutes. Saying, ye have forsaken me, I will forsake you also. That's why he said, don't even pray to me. He told Jeremiah, what did he tell Jeremiah? Therefore pray not thou for this people. In Jeremiah 7:16. Neither lift up cry, nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. Man, that's serious, man. He says, 2 Ezra 1:25, saying, ye have forsaken me, I will forsake you also. When you desire me to be gracious unto you, you pray into the Most High, you want this, you want that, give me this, give me. I shall have no mercy upon thee. I mean, I'm going to give you what you deserve. Whatsoever ye shall call upon me, I will not hear you. This ain't during Jeremiah's time, it's during the time of Ezra. And to this day. For ye have defiled your hands with blood, and your feet are swift to commit manslaughter. Ye have not, as it were, forsaken me, but your own selves, said the Most High. Better hear what he's saying. Said, we ain't forsake him, we forsake our own self. That's why we have opportunity. Come back to the Most High. Tell you in Zephaniah 2:1. I'm going to end with this. Zephaniah 2:1. The time that we're in, like I said, we're going to more of prophecies on the Sabbath. Join me then. We're going to look at, we still got to get ourselves together, though. It don't make no sense that you can go through whatever you want to go through. What difference do it make if we don't have ourselves together? We not together with the Most High. He our only hope, y'all. I hope you understand and feel that. If you don't, check with me. I'll let you know. Zephaniah 2:1. It says, gather together. Yeah, gather together, O nation not desired. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as a shaft. You know, shaft is the part of the wheat that just be blown in the wind. No good for nothing. Before the fierce anger of the Most High come upon you. Before the day of the Most High's anger come upon you. You hear that? He's saying, gather together. Yeah, gather together, O nation not desired. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as a shaft, before the fierce anger of the Most High come upon you, before the day of the Most High's anger come upon you. How you gonna, what's your method of protecting yourself when them missiles start be thrown in the last days, gonna be shot? That's why I say come back for the Sabbath day. When you see these missiles gonna be shot right over here. How you gonna be protected? What's your method of protecting yourself and your family and those that surround you? Seek ye the Most High. All ye meek of the earth, all you that's not prideful and think you all that, which have wrought his judgment. I showed you in Psalms 147, 19 and 20. We got the judgment of the Most High. We the ones got the judgment of the Most High. Seek ye the Most High, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness. Can't get no clearer than that. Seek the laws and the commandments of the Most High. Seek righteousness. Seek meekness. Seek how to be humble. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Most High's anger. You hear that? It may be you may be hid in the day of the Most High's anger. It's very important. So give a like for you that's coming in. To Water for joining me. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you know when we're coming on. And with that, I'm going to say, Krum Abanawa Yahweh, Krum Mashiach Yahushai, and Krum Yasharala. And I'm out. Join me on the Sabbath. at 7 p.m. Pacific time.